Hello and welcome to another TFB video. Once again, I'm Russell Lilak from UP Yap. Today I'm joined by Natasha Isaac and Sammy Otis Isaac. Different Isaacs. Today we're going to be doing a little something different. We're going to be reviewing a movie. I think you can guess by what's playing behind us. We're going to be reviewing the movie Moana by Disney. A lot of talk about it, a lot of buzz. It's been pretty popular, I think. But we're going to be talking about our initial reactions, some positives we have about it. If you have negatives, we're going to talk about that, our final thoughts, and let's see what happens. So we'll start right here with your initial reaction, Sam.
Oh, okay. It was a good movie. It was fun. I think I'll save my positives and negatives for later. But going out of the movie, I don't know. I wasn't pleasantly surprised. I think it's at this point it's exactly what you expect from like a Disney movie. It delivered on all the regular stuff. Like it was emotional. You had laughs. You felt, like you wanted to cry. You related to a bunch of the characters. Everything was there as far as Disney movies go. Then there were some other things.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, so I enjoyed the movie. It wasn't too mind-blowing, but I'm a huge fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda because of his work with Hamilton. If you're watching, I love you so much. So I was really excited for the music, and my initial reaction to it, walking out of the theater, I swear I'd never been so proud of my hair. Like, you see this? And it's a thing. It's a, I can go into that later a little bit more, but
I wish I had hair like that.
I think a lot of people did, and that was amazing to feel because, this is very other when it comes to stuff like that, but
Okay.
It was cool.
For me, it was okay. It wasn't my favorite Disney movie of all time.
Yeah.
It wasn't the worst one either.
Yeah.
And it fulfilled a lot of the stuff that you expect with a Disney movie.
Right, yeah.
Some laughs, some touching moments, a few musical numbers. There were definitely some interesting characters, some not so great. But so let's just go ahead and straight right into our positives and negatives.
Mhm.
So let's go with the stuff that we liked first, the positives about this movie, and be as specific or broad as you want.
Can I go first?
Yes, please.
Okay. I might jump in or interrupt as
Yes,
we go along.
and can I be allowed to do the
Sure,
same as well?
go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
I'll try to moderate.
Positives. There's a lot of strong female characters.
Yes.
I liked how there wasn't a romantic, like there wasn't a guy character in there that, had to save her and all that stuff. It was nice. It was, well, except for Maui, but not so much.
Kinda
She
saved
saved him in
yeah.
the end.
Aw, guys.
But yeah, strong female lead, the grandmother, like I could relate to her a lot. She reminded me of
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
aunties, other people's like moms and aunts as well as mine. It's
Yeah.
very relatable.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite.
Characters, yes.
Yeah, that's
Even the
mine
way
as
she
well.
looked.
Yeah.
I loved her body and her hair.
Her hair.
You could almost smell the oil in her hair.
And feel her skin, like
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
She was one of the more beautiful things about the movie.
I think that's what I like the most, that character. Yeah, that character was very interesting. And then the navigation story behind it, it was nice. It was good. There's some things there that I was not very comfortable with.
Mhm.
But then overall, it was good. It was solid. And then what's the name of the god, Teka or Tefiti?
Yeah.
Yeah, another strong female character, right?
Mm.
Very strong.
Like literally powerful.
Like literally a god.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a really good thing to take out from that. And then I know a lot of younger girls went to watch it and they're really happy.
Oh,
They're
yes.
really proud of that.
Yes.
I know some of the ladies who went to watch it, they're really happy about it also. They can show that to not just their daughters but their sons, That was really good. It's good to have these different roles and roles that you can relate to, roles that you can look up to, and then you can in your mind become, and then maybe it'll take over somehow.
Oh yeah.
And then
Seeing
else?
is believing.
yeah, it like people keep saying, it's just a children's movie, but it means a lot to kids.
Oh my God, children's anything is extremely important.
Yeah, it'll shape the way that they look
will.
at things. It'll make things different. They'll be more receptive to different things. They'll look at things differently.
They're gonna be trying to be Maui or Moana for the next couple months, I think.
Yeah.
And not
after
only
watching
like
Until the
like
next
our
Disney
children
movie.
will, but other people's kids will too. And like,
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, we are kind of cool. And I do come from a place that has a mountain that looks like this, and I'm all cool all of a sudden
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, that was actually kind of a cool thing.
Oh yeah, this is spoilers.
Oh,
right.
shoot.
No, sorry. Yeah, this is a spoiler review, right?
Right. We're gonna be talking about some spoilers. So if you
They
don't,
all die. No.
so if you don't want to find out that Darth Vader is Luke's father, yeah, but we're gonna be talking about spoilers. Sorry, but spoilers. So
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. You guys can go ahead. I'll jump in. I have a lot of things to say, but
okay, let's go with your positives right now.
The biggest positive thing was watching it with my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It's definitely a good family.
It is. She's seen it 3 times.
Oh, wow.
She saw it once with me, another time with her cousins, and then one more time with her class. It was a field
was
trip.
it her choice too? Yeah.
I think
I think she was pretty tired by the end of it,
But
but I mean, no. At the end of the day, a movie's super fun. But it was really, really cool to know that she will be growing up with this memory of having like this kind of Disney movie being the norm, because she doesn't have all these, ideas she doesn't have the information that we do. She's just taking it for what it is. And it was really, it was kind of validating a little bit to walk out of that theater with her and we look the way we do. And we saw it at Kahala Mall, so you can imagine we were probably anyway, yeah. it was cool because, I mean, is different. And it's a Disney movie. There's so much not credibility. That's not the word.
Don't say that.
That is not the word. But like the fact that Lin-Manuel Miranda compose these songs like that caliber.
She's best. No, keep going.
Just this, yeah. So the caliber of the movie, the fact that it's among the pantheon of Disney princesses. It's not perfect for sure, but I guess we'll talk about that later. But as a whole, I thought it was great. And may I also or maybe I should just wait for that. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just say a couple of my positives. I did like the navigation aspect, and I think that was really important.
Okay.
There's some parts of it that fell short, which we'll talk about in a little bit for me.
Cool.
I did, like we said, mentioned the relationship between Moana and her grandmother. That was really.
It was.
That was really important, I think.
That was
to me.
special.
But that was one of the better things about the movie that I thought. And I like.
Sorry.
Let's just talk about like the animation. I thought that was pretty cool. How
The hair.
Oh yeah, the hair was nice. The way they drew the islands and the ocean. The ocean looked really good.
Oh, it did.
And I think when it shows them like on the canoe, and just, I mean, you can say what you want about where the canoe came from or whatever, but I think that really captured like what it's like to be like out in the middle of the ocean
Alone.
Yeah, and that kind of isolation, but being able to navigate through that.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I think that was kind of
like there's nothing in
really
your canoe.
That's
like
a
what
good
can you
point.
fit in your canoe? That's scary.
So yeah, so I think that
Small.
they captured pretty well. And just like the foliage and all this stuff, I could. There's some parts of it that I was like, okay, I can't just walk into a village and see that. But then when they go up like the mountains or whatever,
like they're perfectly manicured lawns.
Yeah.
Right.
But like the beaches and all the lawns, like those you can see, like the island that Maui was on. that little tiny thing. Like I could definitely see. I've been there. Like
Yeah.
Like, okay, I've seen this
Me too.
yeah. And there was like some parts of was it Motonui that reminded me of like
Kushai.
Koshai or
Yes.
Pohnpei, like the
Totally.
mountain islands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind that what they didn't say, Kushai or Micronesia, because I mean those are also just words. It's, I mean, we own that too. I don't know, like that's
Yeah, that's a fictitious island, right? It's a fictional island.
Yeah. I did like the female characters also,
Mm.
the strong protagonists like that. That was very good. I mean, Disney has been doing that for.
yes, they have.
For a
They've
very
been
long
getting
time.
better at it.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
And there was one more thing. What was it? Shoot, sorry guys.
Be Amazing Music by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I'll tell you why. If we're
Yeah.
gonna start out. Okay. One of my negatives wasn't that the music was bad.
Was it?
No, some songs were good. It's just it didn't feel
It's not memorable.
yeah, and they weren't like together.
Oh,
For-
okay.
For us.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
It was like
Moana's song and Maui's song and then the crab song.
Oh my God.
like
Okay.
thematically.
Yeah,
they didn't-
thematically
yeah.
they didn't like
Yeah.
go together. Like I don't think they shared the same like DNA.
Right.
Oh, you guys
No,
need to
I-
open your minds. Think outside the box. And those songs are extremely, I mean,
They're
I am
good.
so tired of hearing
On their
these
own.
kids singing these songs all over and over again.
because
Oh,
like
really?
Oh, yes.
because like the
Yes.
crab song,
Mhm.
like what was where did it come-
Shiny?
Yeah, it was
Because it's Jermaine Clement. It matches his personality.
okay. So then why aren't we making a movie about Jermaine Clement's personality?
Yeah,
it's like
that's
they
the
just
thing.
like okay, we want to use this guy, so let's just make this song.
It's
and make it.
eclectic.
Yeah,
it's
but
like-
it's not like the good kind.
That's why it's funny. It's like random. It's like the new type of like what it's not as
Yeah.
formulaic maybe.
Okay.
Like let's have a cookie.
Okay. Well,
Depends.
maybe because I'm comparing it to like really good, like
Epic.
I'm
Yeah.
talking like
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Aladdin,
yeah.
and like
True.
you
Yeah.
can like really
You
feel
can link
like
all of
yeah.
them together. Yeah.
so like in the beginning you had this like really great epic sweeping song from her. Right. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go how far I don't know, but I'm
Right,
gonna
right,
go. And then you had this like it was a good rap like by The Rock. I liked it. It's catchy.
Wait,
But-
what are you talking about? The-
You're welcome.
Oh yeah.
And then it was just like okay,
No, my
but
daughter loves that song.
it's a good song. I'm
Everyone
not saying
loves
it's a
that
bad song.
Mhm.
It's just like in the
Doesn't
pacing of the movie,
Yeah.
and then just like from the first song that we got this epic sweeping song, and then just to jump into that,
Yeah.
it's like
I could not disagree more.
uh,
I think it's setting like the pace. You have a wonderful introduction and
Yeah.
then the story begins and it's lighthearted.
but then
I think-
then we get to Shiny, and it's just like where does this fit into all of
Yeah.
this? Like
I think I see both your points. It's like because you're supposed to introduce the character of Maui, and that song is his introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a funny
Right. But then
in the movie.
the beginning of the movie, it feels like it's like an extremely epic movie,
right,
and then it just hits this self,
Yeah.
this selfish song. It's all about like
I guess in that case it worked, but it was just like
yeah.
I was expecting, not expecting, but like. Okay, so in the beginning of Aladdin,
Mhm.
you had Street Rat,
Right.
like right after that other number, and then the one right after that is the genie,
Yeah.
and I can see it trying to be like that.
There's a progression,
Yeah,
right? Like
but I don't think it was like as
Hmm.
like fun or like poignant and like I don't know. I guess I like songs or in movies like when there's like a movement or a motif, and they all like
There was though, like throughout the entire movie, there was her.
yeah, there was that.
Yeah,
But that one is so different from like the rap, which I liked it. It
Yeah.
was good. It just didn't feel like
well,
so-
maybe that means that her story
it's
is
different from Maui's.
and it's the story, and he's like an accent.
I
in
think if
it
they
or
got rid of
something.
Jermaine's character,
Yeah.
it would have been a better.
Really?
Yeah,
yeah.
it would have flowed better. But then the thing, I think what you're trying to get at is like Maui's character wasn't developed enough or as well. No.
No, it wasn't so much. Well, that's another thing. But let's stop talking about music right now.
Sorry.
What's one negative that you want to talk
Oh
about?
man, there's a lot. There's quite a few.
Okay.
But then the good thing about it is the negatives are things that you don't pick up immediately. You have to talk about it to flesh it out, to pull it out from the film. And there were some things that, like just from seeing it, like I had a reaction like, ooh, like is that believable? Right. So one of the things was her relationship with her father. You know, the way that Moana, her relationship with her dad was, I don't know. It's especially when she left,
Mhm.
right, while her grandma was passing away, and then the father told her not to leave, and she just left away. Like, I don't see that happening. You know,
Like in real
while
life.
yeah, like while your grandmother is dying, and your dad just tells you don't go, don't do anything.
But didn't
Like,
the grandma tell her to go?
yeah, but then like right then and there, you know what I mean? It's I didn't believe that, and I didn't think that it's so Disney though. Like
Mm-hmm.
almost every Disney movie, it's like the main character, the young child, is going against the will of the authority, and it's the authority is almost always the parents. You know what I mean? But then I would have, I was thinking like, how could that have been done better? Like if the grandma was dying, and then Moana and the father were having an argument, and then the grandma stopped the both of them and told the father, let her go, right? And then the father just let her go because the grandmother said something. And that would have been way better. But because she left, there's a tension between her and the father, and like her and the grandma, it's everything's okay. But then that tension
Yeah.
doesn't really feel resolved even at the end of the film. You know what I mean?
But then why would she?
No, I
Why would
know
she
what
go
you
on her own?
mean, but I
Yeah.
disagree that
Yeah.
it's not authentic. Like
It's
I
not
think
authentic,
that's
yeah.
totally maybe what a lot of people can identify with.
Mm.
Not having that resolution with your patriarchal father maybe, but he was awesome. They really and having that ally in your female relatives.
Mm. That's my other argument, and a lot of people disagree with this. I think the main antagonist is Moana's father.
Oh,
It's not
Yeah.
the goddess Ka or Tefiti. It's not
It is.
Maui. It's not any of those people. The main antagonist to the film is her father. She's the one that stops them from
that is interesting.
leaving the island. Oh, he's the one that stops them from leaving the island, stops them from practicing traditional navigation.
No, he's
That
not.
is so interesting.
He's not.
I think it is.
No.
I gotta
Or his
rewatch it.
fear.
Yeah, his fear kept her from not getting
His
into the
Yes.
ocean, not connecting her
Just
with the
her,
ocean.
not
Yeah.
everyone.
Mm.
You see how many stacks of rocks there were?
Mhm.
That's how many chiefs there were, and that's how long they've been on
That's
that
the
island.
other thing. The the thing where they stack up the rocks and said, "This is so the chiefs will grow the island."
Yeah.
At first, when I heard that, I was like, "Damn, that's cool." But then I thought about it some more and said, "That's not how it should be. We should be growing the islands by moving to other
Mhm.
islands, not staying on one island and then trying to grow it." You know what I mean? Does
Yeah,
that make
yeah,
sense? Yeah.
yeah.
We're supposed to explore, and that's how you grow.
But it was because of whatever was after they took the heart. That's why they stopped going out into the.
Okay,
Yeah, they couldn't.
That was the
leave.
main reason why they stopped
going out.
going out.
And I think it's there might be some sort of symbology. I mean, with like legends of people building islands, and that's how they're created. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I got from that.
Okay.
Well,
But yeah,
while we're talking about the father, that was one thing I didn't like about the movie was that, or I couldn't believe it, was that she couldn't go out into the water.
She couldn't go next to it even.
Yeah.
Yeah. She couldn't even go on the beach.
And I don't know how it is, maybe because like in some of the more mountainous and bigger islands, but just if you're from a low-lying atoll,
that is such a good point.
it's
I
just
never thought about
nuts.
that. Yeah,
it's
it
just
is.
nuts
It is.
that you
It
couldn't
is.
like go out into the ocean.
That's like
Yes.
saying you're grounded forever.
Yeah.
Like you can't leave your room.
Yes.
And
So-
I just couldn't accept. Like maybe
That
like
is-
getting in a even getting in a canoe.
Maybe
Like that is such a. I like that. Yes.
I just
Wow.
couldn't like why.
Maybe if he
Wow.
accompanied her to the ocean, it would be more like you can't go there without me
Yeah.
present. That makes more sense, you know.
Is it because she almost drowned when she was a baby?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think it was because he lost his friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
out in the.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
because of that fear, yeah.
But yeah, but I.
So just like basically being, yeah,
He's just being like way overprotective. But it's just
irrational.
that's really irrational. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot. Maybe she did go. We just didn't get
Yeah.
those scenes.
Right.
But
Right.
every time she would like try to go next to the ocean, the father was always there.
Right.
Like,
And then also like when they brought the crops and they were dying, he just said, "We'll just plant some more."
yeah,
That's why I keep saying he's
He's not a good leader.
he's the antagonist to the whole movie. He doesn't want things to progress. He doesn't want things to change, right?
Yeah.
And then most of the movies are the people who want
Interesting.
things to change negatively, or the people that don't want things to get better, right? That's your antagonist. And then he didn't want anything to change or to get better. So
Totally.
like everything else, like everyone
Climate
else.
change enough.
Well, that's the other thing. That's another thing. Like I have so much things to say, and then
Yeah.
but those are my thoughts, and then what I took immediately. But then having a lot of conversations with different people, I mean, they told me their points of view and the thing that they didn't like. Some people said they took a climate change message from this movie, like the island dying and not getting enough fish, all that stuff. But then the problem with that is the reason why there's this climate change is because of the goddess, right? And then that kind of message hurts the actual message of why climate change is actually affecting us. It's not
Right.
because of a mythical being
Right.
or a religious god or whatever. It's because of
Gosh.
us.
Yeah.
Like we did this to ourselves, so we have to
Ah.
figure out how to stop it
Uh-huh.
by not doing things and correcting
Hmm.
things, you know what I
Mm.
mean? So that whole climate change message, it's only half of the message that we need to do something, but the other half is why did we get there in the first place? And then some people argue, well, Maui is the one that stole the heart, so that's like going against nature. But then is Maui really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he.
Yeah. But that's the other thing. It's not the Pacific Islanders who did this.
Right.
If you want to stick
Are
with
you
the
talking? You're
climate
talking
change
about climate
analogy,
change.
yeah. It's not the Pacific Islanders who caused it, right? So then your climate change argument, your climate change
We're trying to fix
message
it, definitely.
kind of falls apart. Yeah. Sorry.
What a
no,
downer,
it's really
man.
interesting.
Sorry.
Really interesting.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well-
I have a lot.
I would say the thing about that, about being climate change, and it's kind of like Zootopia, and how they're treating like race
Mhm.
Mm,
by doing all like they're trying to do a lot of stuff with that movie,
Mm.
right.
and then they're hitting and missing, and there's like
Another Disney film.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like people are saying like, oh, it's a really good movie about racism, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of stereotypes in it
Right, yeah.
and all this other stuff
Yeah.
too. So it's kind of like
And then the argument is it's a kids movie, lighten up.
right.
Right. But
Oh.
then because
No.
it's a kids movie, we shouldn't take these things for granted because
For me, the argument at the end of the day is it's brilliant because this discussion is happening. Yes. Yeah. And
But then
Oh.
no, I'm just playing.
yeah, otherwise it wouldn't be. And at this level of exposure, you
Mm.
can't.
I will
Yeah.
say this about what you're saying. A
Uh-huh.
lot of people have like, especially like a lot of Pacific Islander scholars
Mm.
have like a lot of negative things to say. And I'm not saying they're right or wrong,
Mm.
but a lot of times like the people that are reading it aren't the people that need to know this stuff. Like
Oh.
sometimes, because we need to educate adults and all this stuff, but like these kind of conversations that they're having, I don't know if people are taking it to their kids when they're watching it.
That's a good point.
Because like we're gonna talk about, okay, well,
But now you're forcing me to talk to kids.
yeah, who wants to do that? You know, but you know,
Mhm.
like okay, so like the things that we don't like about this movie, they're
Mhm.
like, do you think adults and their children, parents,
Mhm.
are like, are they having that conversation with their kid after the movie?
Like what
Ooh.
conversation?
Okay, so let's say like we didn't like how they talk about, or like, you don't think it's a really good thing to talk about climate change or to tell it. Like,
Okay.
are you having talk about climate change and like, you know that this kind of thing is happening, and people are saying this kind of thing, or what was another issue that we had with the movie, like a negative,
Relationships.
or like after the movie, like, do you think this is how we are in this movie? Um, or
Are we having these conversations?
Yeah. Here, let
I
me-
am not having this conversation with my daughter. It's mostly just about the music. She is also a fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda.
which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
I mean, for me, this movie wasn't really something to use to teach my child. That's not how I
Right,
saw it at all. I would choose other movies. Like,
Okay.
I'm making her watch Red Dwarf. Do you guys?
Whoa.
Oh, that's the
Dude, oh my God. That's the kind of education I want to
Okay.
impart on my child.
Okay.
This movie was just,
It's just for
fun.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's popcorn.
Yes,
No, it's
it
like-
was. I almost.
Yeah.
It is popcorn. It's something to.
Popcorn movie. Yeah, but let me talk about like this one negative thing that I had about it, and then we can talk more. One positive I said was about how they talked about navigation,
Mhm,
and that was really important. I think that was one of the most important scenes was when she said we were navigators, because that's all about like Pacific Islanders, like that. I think the world abroad doesn't realize that
That's
we
not
were,
a Polynesian thing. Yeah.
Oh, it
And it's
not just that, but
lost.
we were doing that with no instruments.
It was not lost.
I mean, it is a Polynesian
For-
thing, but it's not just a
Yeah.
Polynesian thing.
And but we were doing that forever,
Mhm.
and without instruments, without maps, without technology.
Mhm.
And in the movie, it kind of shows that. But one thing I didn't like was just, and I guess it's just because the movie had to go that fast, but just she learned how to navigate very quickly,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Mm.
and I think it just makes all the real navigators, like the master navigators,
Mhm.
it kind of just makes all their hard work look like. I can go do that. I just got to put my hand in the water and learn how to make a knot. And,
I think, yeah, that can just be attributed to the nature
Yeah.
of it being a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But something like that, something I would say to my kid,
it takes a long time.
it takes a long time to learn. And,
hard work.
and a lot of people said it was impossible for us to do this kind of
Right.
stuff.
Yes.
But we did.
There was somebody who
Yes.
told me that what they didn't like about the navigation story in that movie is that they didn't say that one of the issues was how did we lose it? Again, in the movie, it's because we did it to ourselves. But then in real life, that's not how a lot of people lost navigation. A lot of foreigners went there and then they stopped them from practicing navigation. So the real culprits for losing traditions and cultures are not ourselves. You know what I mean? Like we're trying to revive it. So that
It's an
was the
effect
other
of
argument.
Why
colonization.
did they stop them? Do you know?
Because
Because
it's
it made them look
primitive.
bad.
Did they have to use like magic and stuff? And
Yeah,
Were
they
they,
wanted to
was
end-
this like
'cause-
religious
From
thing?
what I think is it's because it's also connected to the religion, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the navigation
Of
is
course.
also connected to the religion. So they wanted to remove that.
Yeah.
So missionaries
Right.
went in there and then they tried to get rid of all that stuff. So it's a lot of you have to be careful with the word I use. They're trying to take out some real villains of history. Does that make sense? Like a
In
lot
the
of
movie.
them, yeah, in the movie, like they don't. We have real life problems with trying to relearn navigation, climate change. These are real life problems.
Mhm.
And then the real culprits, the real villains, if you want to call them that, are not Pacific Islanders.
Right.
Yeah. But
That's
then in the
interesting.
movie,
Okay.
it shows that we did all this crap to ourselves.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't subscribe to that. that
So you think it would be better if there were
Missionary
yeah.
in the movie.
No way.
I don't think it's yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Okay, I'm just gonna throw in a bunch of arguments that people told me.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
necessarily believe in all of these, but okay, noble savage. They're all noble savages, right? Untainted by civilization and westernization, right? That's one. The other one is they shouldn't be retelling or telling the stories of actual gods like Maui, because those are people's ancestors and people still believe in them as actual gods. So that's offensive because that's my ancestor, that's my god, and you guys are telling these children's story around them. So that's there. And then also you're making money off of our culture. That's the big one. And then the thing is, like, if you watch the movie, you see a bunch of Polynesian everything, right? the tattoos, I don't know where they're from. You got the Maori, what's that?
They're
The haka.
tribal.
Yeah, it's the tribal tattoos, and then you also have it looks like a Tahitian hula. It's like something there.
Fiji.
Yeah, Fiji. Even the song, I think that's one of the songs was Fijian, right? The canoes Fijian, and then you have they just picked and choose. They just picked whatever they liked from all over Polynesia, and you just put it together in this one film and says, "This is all the things you need to know," or
Yeah.
"This is all that
okay.
we think is good," right? You don't need to know anything else.
I felt
Yeah.
like they were including
Yeah.
as many things so that it wasn't specific and it included more people than it excluded.
Mhm.
That's how I.
Let me
But
ask
then
you what
it's-
you thought about him talking about like how like people are related to Maui and
Oh yeah. So I was like totally thinking, what about like Vikings? Do people get upset when they make a show about Vikings?
Like Thor.
Thor, exactly.
Yeah, I think the difference there is people still believe in Maui. They still hold him like there are people who still worship the light or the darkness. That's the traditional Hawaiian religion. There are still people who practice that. And then they'll be offended if we do anything that like if we make depictions or
Hmm.
characters out of their gods and stuff like that. Thor, I don't think there's anybody worshiping Thor.
Oh, I wouldn't make such statements.
Okay, yeah.
You don't believe in
Sorry
Thor?
to that.
Right.
there's a movie. Just
Or
kidding.
maybe not Norse mythology, but I mean
Because
cultures and religions like
the other thing is,
ah,
even if Thor is a religious figure, if you want to go that route, Maui is a religious figure, but people also believe that he's an actual person. There are some Polynesians who believe that Maui was an actual person, he was a navigator, right? And then some people believe that they are descendants of Maui.
mhm.
So you're making all these, like made him out to be a narcissistic, self-centered, like, but that's my ancestor, man. You know, it's like if I
And
put
what he
myself-
wasn't? Like
I
he
don't
had to
know.
be perfect.
I don't know. That's. these are the
I don't
arguments-
want to offend anyone really, but I mean I think really it is very important that we know this.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, like the other argument can also be made.
I think that's why I said immediately afterwards that this movie is great for Micronesians, but not so much for Polynesians, because I can see where they'll get offended, like
Yeah.
the things that don't fit them. But
Yeah.
then almost every Micronesian that I talk to, like, I love the movie, I could totally relate, and I feel that way also. But you know, the history of Polynesians being oppressed, discriminated, colonized by Westerners,
Mhm.
and then what corporations did to their land and their people,
Hawaii.
making money from their culture.
Oh, so true.
You know, that's why I said. this
Well,
is probably
you're
not
talking
too
about that's one thing also about this movie. I felt like I went to PCC.
good. Oh, that's a good thing, right?
I don't know. You know, so like they
That is
picked and
not
choose
a
their stuff.
happy place.
So that's how I felt though. It's like they just took all this stuff and it's just a performance.
A little savage.
So that's the thing too. So like I had a relative that came here and I
It's
think
not as bad as PCC.
they sing and
What if
dance.
What if you go to PCC and they sang all
Did you
their
see that
songs?
Moana movie that I
No, I
did you?
didn't.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
the
never
old
mind.
one. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
because that. Oh, okay, never mind.
But
We won't
it's-
talk
They
about it.
staged.
But
that
it's
thing.
kind of the same thing though. It's kind of the same
It-
thing. PCC
I
in
need
this
to
movie.
watch this Moana
A
movie
bunch of
again.
like Menway made this movie, but they just put a bunch of
Okay, so yes, that number, that intro number where we're being introduced to the village with their perfect grass and
yeah.
BS.
Yeah.
I hated that for sure. For
Really?
sure. Oh
And-
yeah.
What?
And that
It's
and
so
that,
cheesy beyond like, why do you have to who does this?
I really liked it.
well, that's the thing. Okay, so
Really?
here's I think,
I'm sorry. I think that's hilarious.
I
Like
had,
when they're like catching things and passing them along.
I thought that was.
I had a cousin from the
It's like a
mainland
Polynesian
here.
musical number.
Okay.
come here, never been to Hawaii
That's
before.
fair.
She's American.
Okay.
So we took her to PCC. And then, you know, she liked it. We did all the stuff. But then I had to tell her,
Yeah.
like, this isn't like these people's actual, like,
This is not real.
little culture. Like, this is just like some performances.
Yeah.
And so this is the kind of stuff you got to, like, tell your kids about. Like, that's my only thing. Like, people are just watching this movie. Okay, it's popcorn movie. But at the same time, maybe for our kids,
Yeah.
just let them know, like, you know, you might.
Like we're enjoying this, but by the detriment to other people's actual cultures and beliefs and religions and history.
Yeah, like there's like other stuff.
Or like
It's a
no,
fun
just
movie,
just
yeah.
know that this isn't like
it's just a movie.
100%. Yeah,
And
this is
stop, it's a movie.
it is
It's a-
total
it's a children's
fiction,
movie.
Yeah.
and you should learn more about the actual.
I think I would still recommend the movie to people to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say,
Like,
oh,
why
it's
wouldn't
terrible, it's
you?
racist.
Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Oh,
say any of that.
it's not really a negative, but it was just something I thought was kind of weird.
I think you should. Oh, sorry.
Why did Moana's parents have accents, but she
Ah.
didn't?
Did they?
Yeah, the,
Also Maui,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Maui, like,
What? He had an accent.
and he's like the oldest one of all of them.
They all had different accents.
What kind of accent did Maui have?
Maui was the Rock,
Yeah,
Because
I
of
know.
the
so
What
he had
kind
an
of accent does he
American
have?
accent.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then like Moana she's Hawaiian.
When you told me
So
that blew my
and then but
mind.
then her dad and the grandma were like they're Maori, right? So they're from New Zealand, so they have their New Zealand Maori accent.
Mhm.
So I was just in the movie like, how come they don't
You
sound
know
like each
what?
other? But
You'll
Maybe
find out in
because
Moana Part
part
2.
two, oh, another review.
it's funny. Maybe I didn't realize it because that's how it is in my family as well.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, I sound totally American, and
But
like
then they didn't
But
like go
you-
from island to
Yeah,
island.
they were just
stuck on
there
that one
forever.
island.
yes.
She wasn't
Okay.
allowed on a canoe. She couldn't go to.
You
another
want to talk
island.
about how
Such a
things
technical
religious?
stuff.
No, yeah, it's just a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, that took me out of it. Like,
Yeah, I see that.
yeah.
I can't watch that movie anymore. If I watch
Okay,
it,
sorry,
like,
guys.
no, no,
I
no.
think it should be recommended, but
Yeah.
it should have the caveats and whatnot
Hmm.
along with the recommendation. Be like, watch this movie, but also at the same time realize navigation takes years and you can die, and it's
That's very important.
yeah, and like listen to your parents. Don't.
No, I
Just
thought it was
run
really
off
cool
and-
that she learned it and she was able to like navigate.
Mhm.
And I thought it was important that it was a woman.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, it was cool. But then the fact
Oh.
that it just like I just learned it like that, I was like, man, there's people that spent like their whole lives learning this
It's
stuff.
the magic of
Yeah.
television.
You know, some of the things that a lot of people said that they were angry about was like a girl learning navigation. That sounds just like that story from Pola por Polo.
Oh,
Right? They
the-
stole that from us, and then
Oh, what? There's a
Kushrai, like,
story.
that island turning, that goddess
yeah,
turning.
yeah,
into-
they
that's
stole that.
Kushrai. They stole that from us. You
Oh
know?
yeah, I don't have that like selfish
Let's not
feeling.
say they stole it from us. Let's just say, oh, this movie is about us as well. Maybe
So what I did was I was like, you see that? We have that in our
Yeah.
like.
that's an
You weren't
actual.
the
I-
first one.
Yeah, I
One of
owned
the
it.
first ones.
I wasn't like, oh, you did it first. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's the first thing when she like laid down and it was like, that's Kushrai.
Yeah, I leaned over to my daughter. I was like, Kushai, that's where Grandpa's from. And we have an island just like that. Because it's unreal. Like the sleeping lady literally
Yeah.
looks like,
Yeah.
but like even more realistic, I think.
Mhm.
Because
Because
she's got
it's
the,
real.
She's lying
cause she got the boobie.
horizontally, not the
Yeah.
a
I
side
know,
sleeper.
right?
Helps with snoring though.
All right, well, I think we're kind of winding down on our positive and negatives.
Oh,
You guys
yeah,
want to just
sorry.
move on
Oh,
to like our
yeah.
final thoughts?
Ugh.
Final
Yeah.
thoughts on the movie.
My final thoughts. I think everyone, if they get a chance to see it, to see it. You know, it's a good step forward. It's not a step backwards. It's a step forwards. And then some people said, "Oh, we just want to be a part of the conversation, right?" But then there's always a negative to almost everything, right? But then, see it, see what you think about it. Come up with your own conclusion, your own ideas, your own thoughts, your own feelings. If you don't like it, yeah, cool. If you liked it, that's cool also. But it's a good movie. Yeah.
Yes, I think you should watch it too, but also keep in mind that it's a Disney cartoon. And it's bringing to light all this really great discussion, and some people really need to listen to the discussions that are happening. I don't know if I'm one of those people. I think I'm allowed to enjoy it maybe, and like relish that my hair looks beautiful. I wish it's not as glossy as hers, but then again, if I were to be immortalized
That's
on TV,
CGI,
it would
don't
have.
worry.
I know. But yeah, like it does a lot of good, and I think it does more good than bad. I don't think the bad is even bad. I think the bad is totally necessary still, but it's definitely a step forward. And like how I'm kind of critiquing earlier, you don't like make your own.
Mm.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
my thought.
I think I agree with you there that this is, and with you also, it's kind of like our first Disney character, and then it can get better.
There
And-
was Lilo and Stitch.
Well,
But
she's not really a princess,
and she was very I'm sorry.
but
It's a fun movie too.
when these kind of movies come out, there's like all this like talk and hype about it, and it's like really good for Disney because they're going to be making a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that I think that's one thing I kind of don't like. This is that they're going to be making a lot of money, but at the same time, we're getting this really great character that a lot of little girls and little boys are going to be looking up to. And maybe there's some kids that are saying, "This sucks. I
Yeah.
can do something better," and
Yeah.
maybe they'll make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that parents are, kind of like helping their kids like realize some of these things. Maybe you don't have to be so like harsh about it, like navigation and colonization, all this stuff. Like, what does this make you feel, and why do you think you feel that? And
Mhm.
here's our history. Maybe you can feel this way about it too.
Maybe teachers too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of opportunity for learning, and I think I'm
Yeah.
like that with a lot of the stuff that we're critiquing. We always should be learning from it,
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's a lot of different communities that are up in arms on both sides of this movie,
Mhm.
and I think you just gotta like find your way through the middle and get what the good stuff from it, and then like leave all the bad stuff out. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah.
As movies go, it's not my favorite movie,
Yeah. Me
but
too.
it's not like really bad. It's not that bad. It's
Would you recommend people watch this?
yeah, I would definitely recommend like take everybody to go watch it and just enjoy it, and then make another video and talk about it here because like you can see how much conversation we've had about it. So,
Yeah. It's not going to end.
And that's awesome.
Yeah, I guess.
I think we're gonna try to do ratings.
Sure. Go
So,
ahead.
And hey hays.
That's a perfect score. I'll give it a 70 out of you decide.
Wow.
Yeah, leaving it open.
I'll just be boring. I give it like a 3 out of 5 stars.
All right,
Not a bad movie.
it's good.
Not the Academy Award winner.
I don't think it's
It'll
gonna
break all the records, but it's a good outing. Once again, I'm Russell from TFB, here with Natasha, Sammy. Thank you to all our viewers for sitting through this one. We look forward to more videos. Please make sure you subscribe, you comment, you like, and just keep up with us. We'll see you guys next time.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.